Damn it. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to get up in here. I had another live set up, but I fucked around and when my phone is connected to the car stereo, not the media, but the phone. When I do live streams, for some reason, it does this stupid shit with the audio where it's just dumb. So I had to back out of it and come back in. But usually I do it without ending the live stream. I just have to refresh the live stream and come back in after I take it off fucking phone. Anyway, so yeah, let's get right into it, man. Let's get into this. No, I was able to see that. Look, it wasn't a candy commercial at all. It was virtue signaling. They were pushing an agenda. They were pushing the indoctrination of your children into the LMNOP community. All right. So that's what they were doing with that Twix commercial. But I want to talk about the clown shoe Lucas's dumb ass take. All right. On the people's outrage, basically, about the commercial. Listen. There's one thing I agree with him on, and that's the fact that they have been doing this for years. Like, I saw it coming. I saw them trying to normalize this transgender shit, all this different things with the, y'all know, with the LMNOP community, trying to normalize it for your children, trying to push that shit on your children. But this is where the clown shoe Lucas's take. And now, if y'all haven't seen the video where he's talking about the Twix commercial, y'all need to go watch it. I mean, just suffer through it for the 9 minutes and just learn what the left is pushing. Right? Now, he goes into sarcastically what the left's narrative is about being born this way, saying that, people accepted that talking point that, oh, we're born this way, so anything they do having to do with children, it's normal, this, that, and the third. He's basically saying, he was talking about how a parent said that her daughter at 8 years old was a transsexual and all this other shit. Now think about that word, transsexual. Why is your child any kind of sexual at 8 years old? But that's a whole nother question. This is where his take gets dumb as fuck. That we shouldn't be feeling some type of way about it because they have been pushing this agenda and we basically have to adapt, right? We have to adapt to this new idea that, kids are going to be transgender, they're going to wear dresses and all this other shit, right? And that's where I have a problem, okay? The problem is this idea of what type of adaptation we're supposed to have. Because there's no one way to adapt to certain things, right? Like when nature introduces an obstacle or a challenge or a danger to a certain species, they adapt or they die. But there's not just one way to adapt, right? Let's say you have white rats or white rodents in nature, right? But they're in a fucking forest, right? They're in nature. It's brown and green and things like that, but they're white. Well, against a brown background or green, brown and green, whatever colors there are, they're going to be much more noticeable to predators. Now, there are several ways like above ground predators. So there's several ways for them to adapt. Either they can learn how to burrow and, hide that way, or they can, over time, their coat can change from white to brown, so they'll blend in, or they'll, have sharp claws to fight with. you know what I'm saying, or become more agile, be able to climb trees quickly. There are multiple ways to adapt. There's not just one way. What he's talking about, he's not talking about adapting. He's talking about accepting. He's talking about basically accepting this new world where, kids can be sexualized. They can be girls, boys, no matter what they were born as, because we basically waited too long to do something about it. That's bullshit, because people have been fighting against this for years. It's just the dominant culture, right? The dominant culture in society wants to push that agenda, and whatever the dominant culture wants to do, they basically are able to get it done because they're the dominant culture. Doesn't mean that people aren't resisting. Doesn't mean people aren't in fight against it. And we don't have to adapt to them trying to indoctrinate our children into the LMNOP community by accepting it. That's not, no, we can continue to fight it, or we can fight stronger. Or, there are certain things we can do. We can pool, we can not do this, we can not do that. We cannot participate in the nonsense. We can keep our children away from it. We don't have to show our children that shit. And when they do see it, right? And I choose to allow my children to recognize that there are cultures out there and people out there that think it's okay for a boy to be a girl and a girl to be a boy. And I tell them that's not how you're going to be. You see, when they're introduced to shit like that, it's my duty, right? Let's say they come to me, oh, my daughter comes to me, oh, I'm a boy. I'm a boy today. I'm going to say, well, you can think you're a boy today, but what you really are a girl. And this is why. You have a vagina, right? And when you grow to be a mature woman, you're going to be able to have children. You're going to bleed once a month. This is the reality. You're a girl, so you're going to be raised as a girl. You're not a boy. I don't care what you say. It's our duty as parents. The only legitimate authority that anyone has over anyone is a parent over their child. Period. And as the authority over my child, I'm going to raise my child to be what they were born as. I have 2 boys and 4 girls. I'm going to keep 4 girls and 2 boys, and their designation is going to remain with those 4 girls and those 2 boys, period. If my son comes up to me and says, can I wear a dress? I'll say, you know what? No, you can't wear a dress, because boys don't wear dresses. Girls wear dresses. Boys wear pants and shorts, and this, that, and the third. I don't care if it's a construct. I don't care if girls wearing dresses is a construct based on the patriarchy, and don't care. What I do notice, though, is I don't necessarily force these concepts onto my children. My children actually choose it for themselves. So like when my daughters got old enough and we went to the store, my daughters would naturally gravitate toward pink shit, frilly shit, girly shit, feminine shit. They weren't gravitating toward boy shit. And I didn't have to tell them that. They were 2-3 years old. They want to get a doll. They'd get a girl doll. They would want a girl doll. Yes. I wouldn't say, look, you have to get this girl doll. Because to be honest, I'd be more inclined to allow my daughter to play with male action figures than for my boys to play with girl dolls. That's just the reality of it. That's a double standard that I'm going to keep. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and that's the reality. Like because girls can wear pants and shorts as well. They can, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to dress all hyper feminine. But my daughters would choose dolls over male action figures. That's just what they wanted. I didn't have to tell them that. And then when my boy was born and he got of an age where he wanted to play with toys and he understood and recognized what the different toys were, he wanted masculine toys. He gravitated toward blue shit. He likes red dinosaurs. He likes dinosaurs, and he likes Ninja Turtles and action figures. That's just what he naturally gravitated toward. I didn't have to force him. You understand? Men and women are different. They want you to think that men and women are the same, and that's why we can transition and this, that, and the third. No, you can't. You can't. You can't just do that. You can't just become a girl, because you have to go get surgery to have your man meat split in half and shoved up in you, and your balls inverted or whatever the fuck they do with the balls. Obviously, you're not meant to be a girl if you have to go through all that mutilation and have to wear tampons 24/7 because it's an open wound that wants to close up. You understand what I'm saying? You can't get wet. If you're a man transitioning to a girl and you get a vagina, my bad, a mangina, you cannot get wet. That's one of the most beautiful things about a woman. I'm sorry if tell your kids that if you got kids watching, turn them away. Don't let them listen to this part. But that's one of the most beautiful things about women, and why you as a man can never be one. The fact that a woman's they just get wet and the vagina swells up with pleasure, and it makes the experience of entering a woman that much more pleasurable. And then when you're doing the thing and then they get excited and then they get some more wet. You can't do that as a man. I'm sorry. You can't do it. Sorry. You don't have the shit. You don't have the glands down there. You don't have the spots. Sorry. Sorry for getting graphic, but every now and then I can do that. Because and you ain't got the mammary glands. You don't got the uterus. You don't got the ovaries. You don't have the fallopian tube. Everything that you don't have the balanced estrogen to testosterone levels naturally that makes you that feminine, fertile, beautiful, hippie woman. You don't have the hips. I know that they have the magic nowadays where they can sculpt the women into what they want them to be, sculpt the man into a woman, and they can do all these things, remove ribs and put fat here and there and rub and put some fake ass hips in. But at the end of the day, and they can make a man look like a beautiful woman, shaving jawbones and down and all and cheek. Listen, at the end of the day, you are still a motherfucking man. And that's what needs to be taught to our children, right? Not what the clown shoe Lucas would teach his child. God forbid he ever has one. I hope he never has children. That nigga does not need no children. But what he's going to probably teach his child is, well, that's reality. Let me know when you're ready to be a girl. I don't know what this dude is going to teach his children. If he's willing to accept, or we have to adapt by accepting this indoctrination program from the corporations. No, we don't have to. No, we don't have to accept it. Our children are going to be exposed to certain things if they have access to certain things. If they have access to the internet, if they have access to this, they're going to be exposed to certain things, and they're going to have questions. And it's up to you. It's your duty to answer these questions properly. When that woman said, and people like Charlize Theron and motherfucking Gabrielle Union says their child came up to them and told them that they were this, that, and the third. It was their duty to say, no, you might feel like you might be a girl today, but tomorrow you might want to be a boy again. You're a boy. You have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm not going to acquiesce to your silly machinations. I'm sorry, you're a child, and I'm not gonna be able to do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. So, in reality, the adaptation is that you help your children learn what the indoctrination is. Help them understand that they are they're not being indoctrinated. If you're a smart parent, they can't be indoctrinated, but they can recognize and discern. They can discern the bullshit and say, nah, I ain't rolling with that one. This is what my baba was talking about. They got a Twix commercial with a boy in it and dressed up like a girl. And yeah, my baba taught me to discern and understand that they are trying to push this onto me. They're trying to make me and confuse my mind, so that when I'm 13 years old, I can say I want to be chemically castrated. That's basically what they do when they do these hormone stoppers and puberty blockers. You're essentially castrating your child. So you help your child understand that There are decisions that you make in life that cannot be reversed. There are sometimes you take the toothpaste out of the tube and you can't put it back in, right? And that's what happens when you do gender reassignment surgery. That's what happens when you get these puberty blockers. You are destroying your very being, and you cannot reverse that. So the amazing Lucas, he really needs to shut the fuck up when it comes to what is being pushed onto our children and how our children are under attack, because he has no children. He likes to threaten children. So fuck him and his take on this Twix commercial, because it was the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. His biggest problem is that, oh, where's the Twix bar? Oh, they didn't tie it into the Twix. Oh, the bullet didn't have no payoff. And man, fuck out of here with all that. That's what you decide to harp on, is that there was no Twix bar? Oh, but we gotta adapt to the transgender shit. But you can't adapt to the listen, how many commercials over the years? Hundreds of commercials over the years where the commercial has nothing to do with the product that they're selling. They've been doing that for decades. The commercial has nothing to do with the product. What they're saying in the commercial, what they're doing, the words, the lyrics, it has nothing to do with what they're selling. How about you adapt to that? Adapt to that. Stop bitching about that, because that is superficial. Who cares if there's no Twix bar? These motherfuckers are trying to teach our children that it's okay to put on a dress if you're a boy, or think that you're a boy if you're a girl. And you want to call the kid a bully for pointing out the obvious, for being real. He wasn't being a bully, he was being real. He was, hey, dog, you a boy. You should not be wearing a dress. You're a boy. What the hell are you doing? And then the witch comes and throws him away. Like, this is what I'm talking about. And then the witch is the bully, putting her ethereal hands on the boy and tossing him. What happened to him? What happened to the boy that was just stating the obvious? You're a boy. Why are you wearing a dress? That's all he was saying. Never mind that this witch kidnapped this little transgender boy. Walking around town with him. The kidnapping is okay. So we can be transgender and be kidnapped. That's the mode. I thought it was don't talk to strangers. Now this little transgender boy is talking to strangers, a witch, and being kidnapped and taken around the town. But we're supposed to adapt to that. But the biggest problem in his mind is there was no Twix in the motherfucking commercial. Let me see what y'all talking about real quick before I get on Marc Stevens for a hot second. Jimmy Nguyen, Awesome Alice was good. What's good, Reckless? Appreciate you stopping by all the time. Marcy T in the building. Chelsea G. Okay, let me see. Let me read some of y'all comments. Awesome Alice says they have been creeping in stuff for years that is right now in the wide. Yeah, the grift of Lucas, exactly. But we're supposed to adapt to that, right? Okay, let's adapt to it by just, when you adapt to certain things, you can destroy it, or you can accept it, or you can do certain things, you can avoid it, you can build armor against it. So come on. Awesome Alice also says, why do we have to adapt? They seem narcissistic to think we are here to tend to their feelings. Exactly. And I'm not tending to their feelings. I'm not calling you a girl if you're a boy. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing any of that. And that's where you have to stand. You got to stand on your nuts and say, I'm not calling you a boy if you're a girl. And if you're a girl, I'm not calling you a man. Period. Now, if whatever name you want me to call you, if your name is Bob and you want me to call you Sally, that's fine. Hold on. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay, come around the other way, son. Huh?
We were by itself.
Shh. No, you weren't. Come on.
Yes,
Shh. You guys are okay. Go back in the house. I'll be in there in a minute. Oh, get some stuff out the back. What's up, son? So, I mean, listen, the bottom line is, I got 4 daughters and 2 boys, and that's it. There's no adaptation. Go run on the other side, boy, and get them eggs. No, it's not. Not if you go around. So, I mean, that's just the reality of it, man. I'm not going to adapt to shit. Y'all can kiss my ass. Or I'm not adapting in the way you want me to. I see 3 things wrong. One boy closed the door and she forced herself in the house. Exactly. Like, it's okay. Hold on, y'all. Boy, it's not. Quit being dramatic. Quit whining. Boy. You're like a little drama queen. My little. Oh, I love my son. It's all the drama. So I bought about 60 eggs. We get a lot of eggs because we run through eggs. So we got 2 flats of eggs, and each flat has 30 eggs in it. And he's acting like it's 20,000 pounds. They make kids be on meds for the rest of their life. Exactly. And that's what you have to do. You got to take this shit for the rest of your life. Once you do hormone replacement therapy, you have to stay on it for the rest of your life. Yeah, exactly. My boys only like boy stuff too. Exactly. You can think, but what the reality is what it is. All right, I'll check that out, Jimmy, in the Discord. Yeah, I got 6 babies. James Miller said, I don't understand why mofos can't just be gay or lesbian. Why go to the extreme of being a different gender? I don't know, man. That's in their mind. I don't know. They didn't sell any candy that sold femininity to boys. Exactly. I mean, it's crazy. And speaking of that, I think just Lucas just needs to come out the closet, man. What do y'all think? I think he just needs to come out the closet because, hey, just come out the closet. We know you arch eyebrows. We know you like to go to bars with other men and slay. Come on, man. Just come on out the closet. It is what it is. So, listen, and then I also want to touch on Marc Stevens real quick. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Marc Stevens. Marc Stevens is a so-called anarchist, right? Who has been putting out a lot of. He actually would put out a lot of good videos in regards to legal shit and how to do this and that and how to skirt the legal system and how the court system and the government is full of crap. And he calls himself an anarchist. But he's only an anarchist. Well, he's not. Well, he's an anarchist, but he's okay with face flag mandates and snap mandates. And, he did a video about the police walking away because they didn't want to deal with the mandates. And he basically took the side of the government who wants to push the mandates and said that those police officers who would leave because of the mandates, those are the bad officers. And the ones that would stay and enforce the mandates are the good officers. So obviously he thinks the mandates are good, which is implemented by who? Government. The mandates are enforced by government. They're issued by government. They're initiated by government. But he calls himself anarchist, and he calls his show the No State Project. But right now, you sounding like a straight up statist. Now, there were a lot of comments in the video, on that video, going against him, rightfully so. And so he decides to do another video, put out another video today where he's talking about how, I'm an anarchist. I'm not an apologist for the state. And he kind of changes his tune because now this is one thing I don't agree with. somebody apparently flagged his video and forced a restriction on it, an age restriction. So, you know, that was unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? You cannot agree with the guy, but that's a form of censorship where you have to go through hoops just to watch a video. Oh, I got to sign in 18. Like, it's a bunch of nonsense that, you know, flagging people, you don't agree with them. I don't agree with that. Just leave a comment like I did. I left several comments explaining how he's full of shit and how, you know, so he's basically saying that I am an anarchist. Hold on. Door, fucking mosquitoes come in here. He says, I am an anarchist. I just, you know, when it comes to these certain health measures, I agree. I agree with these health measures. I'm for the health measures. That's what he wants to call them. Health measures. No, they're not health measures. They are mandates, right? What's with the euphemisms? Let's call it what it is. It's a mandate, and it's anti-freedom, it's anti-liberty, and there's no science to back it up. And guess what? Even if there was, it's still not the duty of the government to force me to take a medication to save someone else. That's not how it works. Okay. First of all, I've already established, right? Rochelle Walensky, I posted it on my thingy, on my community tab, that these face flags, the snaps, they do not prevent transmission. They don't prevent transmission. Okay, so they might reduce your chance for being in the hospital, and they might reduce your chance of dying, but they do not stop transmission. So there's no point in getting the snap if it doesn't stop transmission. So if you have the snap and I don't have the snap, and I get, you know, Modelo, you get Modelo, you can pass it, I can pass it, but you're supposed to be protected from hospitalization and all that other shit. That's all you need to worry about, is what it'll do for you, not for me. Now, he likes to use this analogy about the seatbelt. And this is such a desperate take here. This is so desperate. Okay, so desperate to be right. So somebody brought up seatbelts, right? I think he brought up the seatbelt, and then somebody countered that with saying, I don't wear a seatbelt to protect you. If you're wearing a seatbelt and I'm not wearing a seatbelt, then the seatbelt is going to protect you. You don't need me to wear my seatbelt to protect you. Okay. Now, this is why I have a problem with the seatbelt situation, because you can take the seatbelt on, you can put the seatbelt on, off, all that other shit. You can't remove the snap. And, you know, it's not a good analogy. But he expounded on that analogy by saying, you are wearing a seatbelt to protect others so that you don't become a projectile in an accident. You heard me. You wear a seatbelt so that you don't become a projectile. That's how you protect others, by wearing a seatbelt. Tell me that that's not a desperate attempt to bolster his argument. It's a hell of a desperate attempt. And I'm going to tell you why. A projectile? Come on, man. Now, they did not make that seatbelt law. All right. So, my bad, y'all. This stupid phone call came in. A political phone call, by the way. So, his position is, you do wear a seatbelt to protect others, because if you wear a seatbelt and you get in an accident, you won't become a projectile. Oh, man. Now, when they made these seatbelt laws, right, it wasn't because they were worried about people becoming projectiles, okay, and flying out of and killing people. Like, what? Oh, man. I couldn't believe it. So you agree with seatbelt laws because you feel like you could become a projectile if you get in a car accident. And he said, oh, I wear a seatbelt, I didn't have to have a law or a mandate to tell me to wear a seatbelt. I do it because I want to be safe and I want other people to be safe. Okay, so there you go. Same thing with the SNAP. If people want to be safe and they feel like they'll be safe by getting the SNAP, then that's up to them. That's their choice, right? But wearing a seatbelt so you don't become a projectile, that's not the odds of you actually becoming a projectile and hurting. Like, you think what are the odds of me flying out of the window and striking someone? What are we talking about here? Like, this is what I'm talking about. These people are so desperate. Yes, you can get ejected from the car if you're not wearing a seatbelt. But I've never heard of an accident where someone who wasn't wearing a seatbelt flew out and hit somebody else, or even someone in their own car. Oh God, it's just. And that's how you excuse your statism with your seatbelt analogy. Listen, if seatbelt laws are bad too, any law like that is bad. Stop sign laws, like getting a ticket for a stop sign, all that shit is bad because people are smart enough to, if they're driving, they understand that they're coming to an intersection. If you cross the intersection and don't pay attention and you not making sure you're clear on both ways, you can go into the intersection and get in a crash. Most people understand that. Like, they wouldn't need a law to tell them not to cross an intersection without paying attention to avoid a car crash, because most people don't want to get injured in car crashes, or they don't want to damage their vehicles, or they don't want to damage other people's vehicles and have to come out the pocket. So I don't have a problem with the stop sign itself. I don't have a problem with the traffic lights. My problem is that they use it to extort people. Oh, you ran a stop sign? Oh, you didn't hit anybody? You weren't doing it dangerously? You made sure your way was clear and you decided to go without stopping. I'm going to give you a ticket for driving, basically. You didn't stop. Now, that's a problem. There's no problem with guidelines. There's no problem with telling people, if you get the SNAP, you'll be protected from hospitalization. You'll be protected from death, most likely, right? You're more likely to not be hospitalized or die. And then you allow people to make their own decision from there. And if you believe that protecting other, you getting SNAP will protect other people, well, that's also your choice to make. You can't force me to do something that I don't want to do because you say it will protect other people, because the government says it'll protect other people. It's not my duty to do that. I don't, but we're supposed to feel bad. We're supposed to feel bad because we don't want to get something put in our body that might cause harm to us to protect other people. That's not something that I'm obligated to do. Sorry. You're trying to make it seem like you're the noble one because you're willing to get the SNAP. You're willing to wear a face flag because you say it's protecting other people, but you obviously haven't done your research. You haven't looked into it. You haven't listened to what Rochelle Walensky said. There is no stopping of the transmission when you have the SNAP. So, and if it did stop transmission, that means it stops you from getting it and stops you from passing it on to other people. It still wouldn't make sense to do a mandate because the people that are snapped are going to be protected from the people that aren't snapped. So there's no point in making them get snapped to protect the people that are protected from the snap. And then unsnapped people passing into the other unsnapped people, well, they both made choices to be unsnapped. So if they pass it on amongst each other, so shall it be. So shall it be. And that's the bottom line to it. And that's why these mandates are a problem. So if the SNAP protects you from transmission, No need for a mandate. If the SNAP does not protect you from transmission, no need for a mandate because you can still get it from other SNAP people. Point blank and period. Hello. That's it. That's it. Bottom line. Like, no more need to even discuss that. Like, it's your these euphemisms. Oh, it's the health measures. I believe in certain health measures. No, say what it is. Say with your mouth what the truth is. You believe in government enforced mandates. You believe in people being able to lose their job, not being able to go into the store, not being able to live their life, not being able to participate in society because they refuse to get a SNAP. Just say you believe in that. Quit beating around the bush. Knock it off. Enough of that. That makes you a statist. You're not an anarchist. If you believe in government forcing people to get this treatment or that treatment, forcing people to do anything for the good of public safety, then you are not an anarchist. Stop claiming that. You are not an anarchist. You're a statist. Just embrace it, man. Embrace it. Embrace it. All it is to it. So that's what I got to say about that. I'm going to read a couple of y'all comments, and then I got to go finish working out. Jay with Open Eyes was good. Lawrence Ritno, how you doing, man? Yeah, I know. It's the seatbelt is protecting you. I don't this projectile shit. Like, okay, you can fly out of your seat, but come on. Jay with Open Eyes says it's like with the drunk driver analogy too. For example, which to be a good analogy, it requires you to assume that people who are shoulder tapped are automatically already sick, which is a false dichotomy. Yeah. And look. And that's what they want you to believe. If you don't get snapped, you're automatically going to pass the sickness on to other people. And that's the retardation of this whole mandate shit. Like, if you don't get snapped, oh well, you're going to make other people sick. No, don't I have to be sick first? And if I'm sick, I'm not going to be around other people. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to quarantine myself. I'm going to make that decision for myself so that I don't get other people sick. I'm going to stay home. And I've been doing that before this Modelo 19 shit. If I'm not feeling good, I'm feeling under the weather, I'm staying home. So no, me being healthy and not being sick and going and not being snapped, I'm not just going to pass you on the dust. No. Anyway. It is about the money. Awesome, Alice. David Open Eyes also says this nigga Lucas trying to say we gonna turn into human bullets. No, not Lucas. No, Marc Stevens. This cat named Marc Stevens. He calls himself an anarchist, but he's not. No, Marc Stevens says that. Oh, I mean, if the amazing Lucas said that, I haven't heard him say it, but I wouldn't put it past him. Well, got to go to work. All right, peace out. Awesome. Have a good day at work. Jimmy Nunez said Lucas is dumb. Some guy probably slapped the back of his head in the gym or something, or when they getting it cracking. Either way, I think he just needs to come out the closet, man. I'm just so done with these false equivalencies. It's retarded. It's getting old. Jay Wodomana says, how are Lucas subs not confused? He's actually approaching this like the government is genuinely doing this for health. This is the same nigga that was screaming, fuck the government because police brutality. He hates the police, but the police are the ones enforcing the mandates. But I'm also talking about Marc Stevens. Marc Stevens, who calls himself an anarchist, he also believes in the mandates. So it just doesn't make sense. He's talking about, oh, there's nuance. And no, there's nuance. There's no nuance. Sorry. When it comes to anarchy, there's no nuance. Sorry. It's no rulers. That's what it means. No rulers. No rulers. I'm sorry. No authority. That's what it means. You're not, you just no nuance on that. Like, some shit doesn't have nuance. It's okay. Everything doesn't have to be nuanced. Lucas means is even more, oh man. It's a cult, man. Oh, he said that too? The Lucas said that. Lucas also said that you can become a projectile. Well, you know, dumb minds think alike, I guess. Listen, the odds of you becoming a projectile. Oh my God. You know what else is a projectile? The fucking car that's in the accident. The car is always a projectile. As it's driving, it's a projectile. Oh my God. You can become a projectile and what? Kill somebody else? Your body's gonna go through some, like, come on, man. Yes, it's possible. You can fly out and you can be ejected. You can flop around and hit somebody in here. But come on. Come on. That's likely not going to happen. And even if it does, it's still inappropriate to force people to wear, to fine people for not wearing seatbelts. It's still not a good thing. Dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. When people say stupid shit like that, when they say, oh, you can become a projectile, then you say, I take peaceful, dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. They'll call you dumb. They'll call you stupid. They'll call you all this, that, and the third. But, oh, well, that's where you got to stand. You got to stand on that. Jay with open eyes, I was talking about Marc Stevens said that about the projectiles, but apparently Jim Nguyen says that he did say that. Yeah, the hand of come on. I can't with people. Then that's what I'm saying. Like, if I get in an accident, well, now we're gonna have a seatbelt restraint for our arms, so that when we get in an accident, it pulls us back like that. Because if we get in an accident and things start, I can flop around and look at that. I can smack the passenger. I can smack them and get them in their throat and crush their windpipe. Like, it's still not. I don't care. Now we're going to get. We gotta put a fucking rope around the fucking steering wheel in our wrist, so that when we're driving and we get in a car accident, we can't. Our arms can't move, and we're just like this. No, man. That's what you call a slippery slope fallacy. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta continue my workout and then hang with the kids. My wife has an event today where she's selling her candles and all this other shit. She's got her business going, so yeah, I got the kids to myself. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Much love. And let's keep marching forward toward freedom, people. Peace.